Thank you for joining us. This is News Now. I am Frank Komalape. And now President Muhammadu Buhari has joined the world in commemorating International Press Freedom Day, celebrated worldwide every May 3rd, insisting that all through his 8 years in the saddle of leadership, he never did anything to compromise the profession. A statement by Femi Adesina, Buhari's media aide, noted that this year's celebration marks 30 years since the UN General Assembly's decision proclaiming an International Day for Press Freedom. The president described the day set aside for it as a landmark tribute to media professionals who risk their lives to keep society informed and educated. Writing on this year's theme, which is shaping a future of rights, freedom of expression as a driver for all other human rights, Buhari said he was particularly delighted that the rights of Nigerian journalists have been protected and upheld in the past 8 years. He, however, tasked media professionals to continue to be patriotic while working for the cohesion of the country and exercise their freedom with a high deal of responsibility. As Nigeria joins the globe to mark this year's Press Freedom Day, stakeholders have continued to advocate for the protection of journalists and media organizations across the country. This news commentary takes a look at the importance of celebrating the day and press freedom in Nigeria.
The third day of May every year has been set aside to celebrate the fundamental principle of press freedom, evaluating freedom of the press, especially in developing countries like Nigeria. The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed World Press Freedom Day in 1993, following a recommendation adopted at the 26th session of UNESCO General Conference in 1991. This, in turn, was a response to a call by African journalists who, in 1991, produced the landmark Windhoek Declaration. 30 years after its proclamation, in order to draw attention to how the press and pen profession has felt in the area of its defense, attacks on its independence, and to pay tribute to journalists who have lost their lives in the exercise of their profession. The press remain gagged in Africa, especially in developing countries. In the last 30 years, World Press Freedom Day celebrations only remind journalists of their rights to freedom of expression, violation of human rights, and an endless list of attacks on journalists as a result of stories they have written or broadcast against either government, its agents, politicians, or highly placed individuals in the society. According to a new report from a non-profit committee to protect journalists, about 363 journalists were imprisoned worldwide as of 1st of December 2022. The Nigerian press has also gotten its share of attacks on the press, especially in the case of Agba Jalingo, a journalist and publisher of an online newspaper, Cross River Watch. Several others, including the publisher of Taraba Truth and Fact newspaper, Oloye Samuel, who alleged a threat to his life by security operatives over his critical reportage on politicians in Taraba State, northern Nigeria. The arrest of a blogger and publisher of Eagles Foresight, Ahmed Olamilekon, for publishing a story on Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodu's alleged criminal records in the United States, and raiding of the head office of People's Gazette newspaper in Abuja by security agents who took away the newspaper's deputy managing editor, John Adenekon, and 4 others, and the list is endless. On this day, the hope of every journalist and media practitioner is to live in a society where the press is truly free. The 2023 Press Freedom Day is themed Shaping a Future of Right, Freedom of Expression as a driver for all other human rights.